today's class. So now in the last class in lecture 5 we were discussing about circular waveguide. In the circular waveguide we'll take quick revision within 5 minutes. Okay, so in the last class we were discussing about circular waveguide. In that we have seen a circular waveguide which is in this shape in circular fashion, and wherever you cut you will get a cross section circular in shape, and that is having coordinate of r, phi and z. This is represented in xyz coordinate also, rectangular coordinate also, but you can see in the circular coordinate r phi z. Okay, and I also told you that in this we have TE and TM mode. Although TEM is existing, but that is the different concept behind this TEM mode is there. So I'll let you know TEM also. Okay, although in our syllabus we don't have, but I'll go through this in a very quick, the TEM mode, how TEM mode existing. See, in that rectangular waveguide, TEM is not existing at all. But here in circular waveguide, TEM is existing. But the concept is little bit different, and for particular, you can say particular type of waveguide, it exists. Okay, but generally we have TE and TM mode for hollow structure. See, this is for hollow structure. So for circular hollow structured circular waveguide. Okay, the TE and TM mode existing. In hollow structure, TEM is not exist. So here the dominant mode is T11, and I told you that T will be in form of N and P. Okay, so N will be starting from 0, 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5, dot dot dot, and the P will be starting from 1, 2, 3. And we have seen that the least cutoff frequency which we have got for XNP, that is for X11 dash, है ना, X11 dash, that was 1.841 we got, है ना. So that was the value for the least cutoff frequency, and the mode which is having least cutoff frequency is called dominant mode. That was the TE11 mode, and the TE10 mode for TE10 is the dominant mode for rectangular waveguide, which is subject to condition that A should be greater than B. If A is less than B, then that will become TE01. Okay. And we also went through the solution of wave equation in cylindrical coordinate. So this is quite similar with the rectangular coordinate, and starting with the similar Helmholtz equation, taking Helmholtz equation del S square in terms of the cylindrical coordinate we have written, and we just found out, and we have taken that the right hand side term is a constant value by substituting psi value. Okay, so before taking the constant value in the right hand side, we should take psi as a constant, sorry, psi as a solution for this differential equation. By taking variable separable method, we take psi should be a function of r, phi and z, and substituting this and dividing with the psi, we got that RHS is having the gamma square, which is a constant value. So LHS should be, all should be constant, and by taking this as a function of z only, and we should take this as a constant term, and that is equated with the that is equated with the gamma g square, and we got one solution. Similarly, we take just substitute this gamma g square in in this term, and we multiplied with r square, we got this as a constant term which is in terms of phi only, and that is equated to the minus n square. So we got the solution of this also, but here we got the solution for this one we got as a Bessel function, and we got Bessel solution, that is in form of Cn, Jn, Kcr, and Dn, Nn, Kcr. This is nth order Bessel function of Bessel solution of first kind, and nth order Bessel solution of second kind. So overall solution will become this one. So we need to have we need to take the some analysis for this Bessel function, and we need to take the apply this Bessel function as r equal to 0. If you So at r equal to 0, this will become infinite, and field should be finite. We know our field should be finite. That means solution should be finite. So it will become at r equal to 0, it will become infinite and in KCR, and to become finite, dn should be equal to 0. So we have substituted dn equal to 0. So we'll get only first kind Cn, Gn, KCR, and this will be trigonometric manipulation. We got something that cos n phi, that is in terms of, and the propagation will be in positive z direction, so we have taken this one only. Okay, so after that, this one, the solution for Helmholtz equation, we got this as a Helmholtz solution. Okay, and in that wave is propagating in z direction. So this is the solution of wave equation in cylindrical coordinate. Now we can proceed with the T mode in circular waveguide, and we know transverse electric. So for the transverse electric, we have the EZ component, which is equal to 0. So electric field in Z direction, that should be equal to 0, and magnetic field, subsequently magnetic field not be equal to 0. So what is a transverse? Transverse means if this see transverse means what? The propagation, if the propagation is in Z direction, now let me take the rectangular coordinate only, or this one also. If the propagation is in Z direction, that means the transverse electric we have. So that means electric field will be perpendicular to this Z. Suppose it is in propagating Z direction, so electric field will be in this way. So electric field will be propagating like this. This is the electric field. Sorry, this is the direction of the electric field. Okay, this is the electric field which is there. So that means the electric field will be either in, suppose this is in Z direction, if I am talking about rectangular coordinate. So if the electric field propagation is in Z direction, that means we can say the for the transverse electric, that means electric field will be in either X direction or Y direction. Okay, so perpendicular to Z, that means X or Y. So X or Y will be there, Z will not be there. So that means Ez component is equal to 0. Similarly, we have we do not talk about Z. So Sz in circular waveguide will be this one, and we can take the solution from that Helmholtz equation, that will be Sz is equal to this one, and we can substitute in this one. If you take the curl equation, and we can find out Ex, Ey, Ez, Hx, Hy, Sz, and we can substitute Hz by taking the Ex, Ey, Ez. Sorry, XYZ is not there. Circular waveguide, na? Er, E5, Ez, and Hr, H5, Hz. So we can find Er, E5, Ez, Hr, H5, Hz in terms of Hz, and we can substitute Hz also by taking into consideration del upon del Z, which is equal to minus j beta g, and Ez equal to 0. So we can substitute here these two terms, and we can find the solution. So after that, we found out the solution will be comes out to be in terms of Hz, this one. So we can apply the boundary condition also, and to apply the boundary condition, we can have this this J and KCR. So how the differential function del z upon del z, which is equal to G and S KCR, how G and S KCR is look alike. So after applying boundary condition at r equal to a inner surface of the circular waveguide, that tangential component of electric field and the normal component of magnetic field, that will be 0. So tangential component will be E phi. Okay, so the E phi means which is equal to 0, and normal component of magnetic field, that would be HR, that is equal to 0. So we can have this one. So if these two will become 0, so from this two, from this one and this one, we found out Hz by del R, which is equal to 0. So del Hz by del R at R equal to A, which is equal to 0. So we can find out from this J and S KCA equal to 0. So from this we got there will be some roots of this equation, because if this becomes 0, so that will be J and Kc is oscillatory in nature. So that means this will also be in oscillatory in nature. And if this is oscillatory in nature, there will be some roots of that function, and the roots can be found out from this table. Okay. So the roots will be will give you the n and different n and p values. So that can be the x dash and p. So for different x dash and p, we got the zeros. So at this x dash and p, we got zeros. This x dash and p, we got zero. So from this table, we found out the least x and x dash and p is equal to 1.841, and that is having n and p which is equal to 1. That's why TE11 mode is the dominant mode. So from this analysis, we got all the solution, Okay, all this field solution, and this field solution can also be represented H naught R, and this can also be represented in terms of Zg also, because Zg can be represented Er by H5, and that is also can be written as minus E5 by Hr. I told you that if X Y Z is there, so if you go to X to Y, so that will be positive. So if you take Ex upon Hy, that will be positive, and if you take Y upon X, Ey upon Hx, that will be minus sign. Similarly for R and phi, if you go from R to phi, so Er upon H5, that will be correct positive sign. If you take upon E5 upon Hr, so that will be negative sign. Okay, so that is Zg which is written here. Now these are the different definition, or you can say different formulas which is there for circular waveguide, and which can be used by solving the while solving the problem. Okay, so to have this, we'll start the today's class. Okay, so now in the today's class, we have one problem, and then we will see the TM mode. Okay. So we have one problem on the dominant mode, that is T11 mode in circular waveguide. T11 mode in the circular waveguide, propagating through circular waveguide. The radius of the guide is 5 centimeters. So R is given as 5 centimeter. Okay. So which can also be represented at 5 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. Okay. Now you are asked to find the guide contains the air dielectric. So it is dielectric which is given as air. Okay, so no need to worry about mu r and epsilon r, which is equal to 1. Now we need to find out the determine the cutoff frequency. Okay, so we need to find out the cutoff frequency. So see, we have a T11 mode now. So T11 mode, we have TE11 mode. So that means n is equal to 1 and p is equal to 1, because this is the format of TE&P mode. Hai. So n is equal to 1 and p is equal to 1. The solution. So we can have this x dash np, which is called as x dash 11, which is, we know x dash 11 for dominant mode, that is for 1.841. Okay, so we should remember this value, at least this value we should remember. So from this x dash 11 is comes out to be 1.8411, and that is also called as KCA. Okay, so from this we can find out KC value, that is nothing but KC value can be written as 1.841 divided by A. Okay, and A is nothing but, which is called as a radius also. A is nothing but radius, so that is nothing but 1.841 divided by A can be written as 5 into 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, so if you take this and if you find out the solution, you will get 336.82 okay KC value. So we have a wave cutoff wave number, you can say this is called cutoff wave number. This is a cutoff wave number, we have a KC. Now we can find out the first one, which is also determine the cutoff frequency. So we can find out the cutoff frequency. Okay, so cutoff frequency. So cutoff frequency can be found out from the formula, which can be which we have. See, if we don't know the formula, na, I know the formula, so I can write directly. But I'll let you know how we will use the one equation, and which can be used for different formulas. So we know this is 2 pi root under mu into epsilon, and see, we have one formula, na, beta g square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus we have a kc. Okay, so kc square. So that was the formula which we have, or we can write also that that can also be written as kc square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus beta g square. So from this, if you have a cutoff, if you want to find the cutoff frequency, now at that time that beta g should be equal to 0. So beta g should be equal to 0. Simultaneously, this will become omega c. That will give you the cutoff frequency, and omega epsilon minus kc square. So from this we can write it down. Kc square can be written as omega square, can be written as omega square mu epsilon. Okay, omega square mu epsilon, and we can write omega, which is written as kc upon square root of mu epsilon. Okay, omega c can be written as mu epsilon, and from this we can write fc is equal to kc by 2 pi root under mu epsilon. So that's how you can find it out the formulas. You can go through the formula. You can find out formula anytime if you want, but you should remember this formula in my point of view. Okay. So now we have a Kc which is written as 36.82, and we have a 2 pi. Okay, and mu is equal to mu naught into mu r, and epsilon naught is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r. So mu r and mu naught into epsilon naught we will write directly, because mu r and epsilon r, which is equal to 1 here. So can we write here 36.82 divided by 2 pi, and this 1 by square root of mu naught into epsilon naught can be written as c, which is written as 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So can we write this as a solution, and for the cutoff frequency? So from this, if you will solve now, you will get cutoff frequency as 1.758 into 10 to the power 9 hertz, or you can say 1.758 gigahertz. So that is the frequency, cutoff frequency, which we have found out from this one. So a solution which we have got. Now we need to find out, determine the wavelength lambda g in the guide for the operating frequency 3 gigahertz. See, this is the operating frequency which is given. So operating frequency means what? What is mean by operating frequency? So operating frequency is nothing but we have a that you can say omega or f value we have. So we will try to find lambda g. So we have a two formulas. Lambda g can be written as lambda divided by square root of 1 minus fc by f ka whole square. Or another way, if you want to find one more way, if you want to find, we can have this or if you can take this as a lambda g can be written as 2 pi by beta g. This is also one of the way it can be found out. Lambda g is equal to 2 pi by beta g. Okay, or lambda is equal to 2 pi by beta. You know this formula, 2 pi by beta propagation constant. So we can have this beta g. We can find out beta g can be written as uh, square root of omega square mu epsilon minus kc square. We know na this formula, beta g square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus kc square, where omega is equal to 2 pi f, and omega can be written as 2 pi f, and f is equal to 3 gigahertz, which is used. So you can use this formula in this equation. Already you know 2 pi, and mu epsilon, you know mu naught into mu naught value 4 pi into 10 to minus 7, and epsilon you know, so 8.854 into 10 to minus 10 to 8.854 into 10 to minus 12 Faraday per meter. You can find out epsilon naught, and kc you have already find out from this one, huh? Kc 36.82. So you can use this formula. You can find out lambda g, and this if you substitute, you will get beta g. This will become 2 pi, and beta g comes out to be 50.9. So you will get this value as 12.3 centimeter. Okay, so this is the value lambda g. Now, or otherwise you can go through this also, you know, cutoff frequency, and you know this lambda can be found out if you want to use this formula. You can find out this one, lambda g. So lambda is equal to, you know, this lambda, so wavelength is equal to lambda is equal to c by f, and c will be nothing but here vp upon f, and vp will be 1 by root under mu epsilon, mu into epsilon. Okay, mu will be mu and epsilon, and this is the f. So you can find out from this one. So this will give you the value, which is nothing but c by f. So you can find out from this formula also lambda value, vp upon f. Okay, now we have the third one, which is asked to find out, determine the wave impedance Zg in the waveguide. So you know Zc can be found out from the formula. So Zc is equal to omega mu naught by beta g. We have this one, no? Omega mu naught by beta for TE mode. See, for the TM it will be different. So TM omega mu naught by beta g, and omega we have 2 pi into 10 to the power 2 pi f na, so f will be 3 gigahertz, so 3 into 10 to the power 9, and mu naught will be 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7, and beta g comes out to be 50.9, and that will give you the value of 465 ohm. That is the value you will get. Okay, so that's how you can find out any solution. Okay, so you should remember these formulas which is asked here. Okay, so maybe I can ask you, I can give you the problem in quiz also. I can give you the TE11 mode propagating, or maybe any mode which is propagating inside the circular waveguide, and radius will be given, and you'd ask any one of the bit. Okay, maybe you'll ask ZG, find out ZG in the waveguide, maybe lambda g, maybe cutoff frequency. You should be able to remember these formulas. You should be able to find out the formulas. Okay, so you can go through this. Well, now we will see this TM mode in circular waveguide. Okay, so whatever we have seen for the T mode, similarly you can apply for TM mode also. Okay, so here we can have the TM mode. So now this TM mode in circular waveguide. So TMNP, here also TMNP is given, TMNP, which is represented, and we will be able to find NNP also from the table. Okay, from the table we have NNP. And is this table for, see, if you have NP, XNP, so XNP will be the function of Bessel. This is from Bessel function table. This is not from the T mode or TM mode. This is simple from Bessel function, and this can be found out from Bessel. This table is fixed. The value which I have told you, x dash NP, which was x dash 11, which is equal to 1.841. So that is fixed. That is fixed. Okay, so here for this is for T mode, which we use TNP. And if you talk about TMNP mode, now you will get to know that we use XNP, not X test. So different table we have, XNP table is there. So we will use this table. Now we will see how we will proceed for up to this point. So before going to this point, we will have the TM mode. So for the TM mode, EZ will not be equal to 0, and SZ component will be 0. So transverse component, that will be 0. So transverse component of the magnetic field. So transverse component of magnetic field. So we have for the transverse magnetic field mode in the circular waveguide. So this the magnetic field propagating in Z direction, that should be equal to 0. So the electric field propagating in Z direction, that will be responsible to carry out some energy. If this will become 0, the energy will not be carried out. So this should not be equal to 0. That's why it is written as not equal to 0, because it is responsible to carry out the energy from one point to the another point in the propagation direction. So TM mode in circular guide is characterized by Z is equal to 0. However, Z component of the electric field Ez must exist in order to have the energy transmission in the guide. Okay, so it is responsible to carry out the energy from one place to another place. So consequently, we have the Helmholtz equation, del square Ez is equal to gamma square Ez, because Ez is not equal to 0. So we will find out the Ez solution. So Ez solution will be comes out to be Ez solution will be comes out to be E naught Z Jn Kcr, okay, cos n phi e to the power minus j beta g into z. What about the solution which we have got for the circular coordinate system, that is for psi from the Helmholtz equation? That's what it is written here for this, from the same the solution. Okay, now if you take the boundary condition, see, initially it is boundary condition is applied here, so you can apply later on also. If you have the pace, see, if you want to skip this right now, you can skip this also. Till now you can skip, okay, till now you can skip here. We will see it later. Okay, now we know curl equation. Now we proceed with the curl equation, curl E. Okay, curl E is equal to minus j omega mu h in frequency domain, and we also have curl H, which is equal to curl H is equal to j omega epsilon E. So we can proceed with these curl equation in circular coordinate system, circular coordinate system, and we can proceed with, and we will find the 6 equation, 3 equation from this, 3 equation from this one, and 3 equation from this one. In this 3 equation, we can have same, this can be equated, this can be substituted in terms of Ez. We can have this term, this can be written in terms of Ez by taking the 2 equation here and 2 equation here. Before taking these 2 equation and these 2 equation, we should apply del upon del z, that should be equal to minus j beta g. Okay, and hz should be equal to 0. This should be substituted. After that, we can find in terms of Ez. So we will find out in terms of Ez. So these 6 equation, the 4 equation which is written here, and the 2 equation which is here. The sixth equation can be written here, and we can have be replaced kc square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus beta g square. It can be replaced, and we can apply this kc square by this term, and we can substitute ez here, and del e by del ez we can apply. So we can substitute, we will get the sixth equation here. Okay, so these six equation which can be found out from here. Before this or after applying from going from this equation to this equation, in between we need to apply the boundary condition also, so that we can get kc value, because kc we need to substitute. So we'll get kc value, and we can have this from this. So we can apply the boundary condition. That boundary condition requires the tangential component of electric field Ez, okay, at r equal to a vanishes. So if the tangential component of electric field, that will be vanishes, and this will be the tangential component, tangential to the direction of propagation. So this tangential component will be 0. So that means J and KCR, that should be equal to 0. Okay. So for the magnetic field, if you talk about the TM mode, so tangential component, that should be equal to 0. If you talk about the transverse electric mode, so we should have the we should have the tangential component as well as the normal component. Okay. So there it was, the tangential component was E phi, and the normal component was HR. So you can have the Ez which is equal to 0. So from this we can find out J and KCR, that should be this equation Ez equal to 0. So that means this term should be equal to 0, and that should be at R equal to A. So if you apply R equal to A, this will become J and KCA. And if when this J and KCA should be equal to 0, so that means this should have this is the J and KCA, that was the Bessel function of first kind. So that was in terms of this one. Okay, that was the function in this way. So now if this is the function of Bessel function J0, J1, J2, J3, this was the Bessel function. So that should be equated with the 0. So that means that should cross this 0. That is that should cross the 0. So 0th of this line. Okay. So when it crosses 0, so at some value of n and p, at some value of n and p, that will become 0. So this is the called as XNP. This is called as XNP, and you can see the least XNP is the value which we have, this one, least XNP. So that is a 2.405. 2.405 is the least XNP. Okay, 2.405 is the least value of XNP. So that means the dominant mode which we can get for the TM mode is TM01. TM01 is the dominant mode. TM01 is the dominant mode which we are here. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, I hope you understood these things. Okay, this is the table which we have. You can find out from any of the this is the zeros, pth zeros. Okay, so which we have got. Now we have a different formulas. So these are the formulas which we have. So formulas, we have already one formula, that is called beta g square is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus kc square. So you can take this as a beta g, which is equal to a square root of omega square mu epsilon minus kc, can be written as xnp divided by a whole square. Okay, because we know kca is equal to xnp. So kc can be written as xnp upon a. There it was, this is for TM mode. And for the TE mode, if you talk about for TE mode, so kca can be written as xnp dash for the TE mode. So this will become, kc will become xnp dash divided by a. Okay, this is for TE mode. I'm talking about TE mode. If this one, this is for TM mode. So that would be different. Okay, so you should remember. And you know, this kc can be written as this xnp upon a na. So you can find out from this one also kc, if you want to find kc. So kc can be taken as, if you take beta g is equal to 0, so you can take it as kc can be written as omega square root of mu epsilon. And if kc becomes 0, this omega will become omega cutoff. So omega c square root of mu epsilon. Okay, and this can also be written as xnp upon a. Okay, that is nothing but kc. Okay, and if you want to find bvg, okay, so the phase velocity, if you want phase velocity in the propagation direction, or the waveguide direction, so guided direction, you can say. So the velocity will be omega by beta g. We know v is equal to velocity is equal to omega by beta. So if you want to find guided, you will go to omega by beta g, and it can be written as vp upon the square root of 1 minus fc by f ka whole square. That is similar to the TE and TM mode, that is similar to TE and TM, both will be same. Okay, VG will be same. Similarly, lambda, we have lambda g can be written as lambda divided by square root of 1 minus fc by f ka whole square, and that is also for TE and TM mode, both are same, but that is different. This one is different, this one is TM different and T different. Okay, so you should remember this is also KC is also different, this is for TM mode. Okay, now you can have this ZG, and ZG is equal to beta G by omega beta G upon omega epsilon, that is called eta root under 1 minus fc by f ka whole square, that is for TM mode. Okay, that is exclusively for TM mode. If you want to find for ZG for TE mode, you will be able to find out, if you want to find ZG for TE mode, that will be eta divided by square root of 1 minus fc by f ka whole square, that will be divided in. Similarly, which we have done in a rectangular waveguide. See, this is also similar TM mode in rectangular waveguide also. This was the formula for TM mode in rectangular waveguide. TM mode in rectangular waveguide. This is similar ZG. So these are the formulas which we have, and where eta you can find out eta is equal to, where eta is equal to square root of mu by epsilon. Eta is equal to square root of mu by epsilon, and for dielectric, for lossless dielectric, you can say lossless dielectric, or you can say free space, that eta can be written as 120 pi, that is can be written as mu naught by epsilon naught. So that is the formula which we have. So you can go through these formulas also, and you can find out this one. Okay. So here it is written one point. It should be noted that dominant mode, or the mode of the lowest cutoff frequency in the circular waveguide. See, this is written as overall circular waveguide. So if I talk about the TM mode, the dominant, which one for the TM mode, if you talk about only exclusive, only for TM mode, only for TM mode, which is the dominant will be TM01. Okay, TM01 was there, TM10. You can find out TM01, yes, NP, na TMNP. So TM01 is there. If you talk about only for TE mode, so dominant will be TM11. So TE11. So you can see, if you talk about circular waveguide, waveguide, so that will be the dominant, the least cutoff frequency, that will have the TE11. So that is the dominant mode for the circular waveguide. That is the dominant mode for the circular waveguide. Dominant mode for the circular waveguide. Okay, so that is the dominant mode with the circular waveguide, and that is having the KCA, that is called XNP dash, which is equal to 1.841. You should remember this one. Okay, so I hope this is correct. Okay, now we will go for one problem. See, this is the problem which is written in the simplest way, but this problem is, you can say, a very good problem. That is for based on the mode, which is the modes which are possible in the waveguide. Okay, which are the mode which is possible in the waveguide. So I'll take this problem. This is the wave propagation in circular waveguide, and it is exclusively for the circular waveguide which is asked here. The problem which is given has an air-filled circular waveguide has a radius of 2 centimeter. So radius which is given as 2 centimeter, that means you have given that A is equal to, I will change the color of the pen. Let me take another color. Okay. Okay, otherwise I will take the red one. Okay. So here it is given as circular waveguide which is having a radius that is called 2 centimeter. That can be written as 2 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. Now I'll talk about and is to carry energy at a frequency of 10 gigahertz. So carry energy at a frequency of F is equal to, it is given as 10 gigahertz. Okay, so 10 gigahertz. So 10 into 10 to the power 9 hertz. Okay, 10 into 10 to the power 9 hertz. Now I'll take this, find all the TE, NP and TM, NP mode. So you're asked to find all the mode which is existing to this waveguide for the energy transmission. So can you find out? So you will be first asked to find out what is the cutoff frequency which is there. Okay. So air-filled rectangular waveguide, which is to carry out at a free frequency of 10 gigahertz. So carry out at a frequency of 10 gigahertz. What are the mode which is existing? So I'll take it this frequency as a cutoff frequency. No, this is not a cutoff frequency, but I'll take it as a cutoff frequency. Okay, we'll consider, so that the wave will propagate. Till now the wave will propagate. Okay, so you take this as a kc, which is kca is equal to omega c. Okay, omega c root under mu epsilon. Okay, and if you have multiplied with the a, so you take this as a. Okay, kc is equal to omega c root under mu epsilon, and that is multiplied with the a. Why kca? We need to find out kca first of all, so that we can relate with the xnp or x dash np. So we can relate with the xnp or x dash np. So we have this cutoff frequency. I'm taking this frequency. I'm taking this as a cutoff. This is not the cutoff, but we'll consider this as a cutoff for time being. So this is a cutoff if you take, so this can be written as 2 pi into 10 to the power 10 to the power 10, you can say 9 into 10, that is 10 to the power 10, and that is written as omega root under mu epsilon. So that can be written as mu naught into epsilon naught. Why this become mu naught into epsilon? Because mu r and epsilon r is equal to 1, because it is given as a free space, air field. Okay, so air field which is written as, so air field, that means mu r and it is equal to epsilon r, which is equal to 1. So and that is multiplied with the a, which is written as 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. So I'll take this 2 pi into 10 to the power 10 into 2 into 10 to the power minus 2, and this mu naught into epsilon naught, square root of mu naught into epsilon naught can be written as 1 by square root of mu naught into epsilon is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8, or root under mu naught into epsilon naught can be written as 1 upon 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So now this you will get, if you solve, you will get 4.18. So okay, so kca you got 4.18. So that means your all these frequency, or all these fc, you can say cutoff frequency, that should be, cutoff frequency is equal to xnp upon a, or you have, or xnp dash upon a. This is for sorry, cutoff frequency is equal to xnp or xnp dash upon 2 pi root under, okay, 1 minute, 2 pi root under mu epsilon. Okay, so xnp divided by 2 pi a root under mu epsilon. Okay, 2 pi a root under mu epsilon. So see, this can also be written as, fc can be rewritten, and it can be taken as this can be taken as fc here. So you see, this is the cutoff frequency which we have, and cutoff frequency can be written as xnp divided by 2 pi a root under mu epsilon. Can you take it as a xnp by a as a kc? xnp by a is a kc, and you can say kca, this value kca, that is written as xnp. So you take this as a kca, which is equal to xnp, kca as xnp, that should be less than, xnp, I'm talking about xnp, that should be less than this value 4.18. Why so? Why so? So you can see this, at this frequency we have talked, we have talked about the because our operating frequency 10 to the power 10 gigahertz. So up to this 10 to the power 10 gigahertz, we are talking about up to this frequency. So below this frequency we can work. So below this frequency means our cutoff frequency maximum will be this one. So below this, all this will be used. So cutoff frequency is directly proportional to xnp. Cutoff frequency is directly proportional to xnp. And we know xnp at this maximum frequency, we got this xnp as 4.18. So that means to have this xnp less than this 4.18, so that this cutoff frequency should be less than 10 gigahertz. So to have cutoff frequency fc is less than or equal to 10 gigahertz, 10 gigahertz. Okay, 10 gigahertz, XNP should be less than equal to 4.18. And you can find out from the table that XNP or XNP dash, you can say XNP or XNP dash, okay, both, not XNP, XNP dash also, because T and TM, this is for T and this is for TM. So both T and TM will exist. So you can find out from the table, and if you go for the, if you go into the table, you will be able to understand, you will be able to see that TE11 will be 1.841, TM01 2.405, and TM11 3.82832, TE21 3.054 and 3.832. You can see 4.18 now. I'll check. We have this table. See this below 4.18. Only these two, this frequency and this frequency is existing. Sorry, this mode is existing. All other mode are greater than 4.18. Similarly, you can go for X dash NP, and you can see this one, and of course this one, and 4 point, it is greater than 4.1. So these three is existing. So TE01, TE11, TE21, TE01, TE11, and TE21, that is existing. TE01, TE11, TE21, that is existing here, and TM01 and TM11, that is mode. So these all mode are existing. If I change the frequency, you will be able to find out how we can find out the mode. So if I'll ask you, an air-filled circular waveguide has a radius of 3 centimeter. If I'll give you the problem, an air-filled circular waveguide has a radius of 3 centimeter and is to carry out the energy at a free frequency of 15 gigahertz. Find all the TNP and TMNP mode for which energy transmission is taken place or energy transmission is possible. Or if I'll give you only find all the TE mode which is existing, and I'll give you the T XNP XNP table, then you will understand, you will know how we can find the, then you will be able to find out the TE mode only. If you will ask all the mode, not TE and not TM, if find all the mode which is existing, not TE and not TM, find all the mode which is existing or which is there for the energy transmission. So you will be able to find out all the TM mode like TE and TM both. Okay. So okay. So I hope you understand the problem. Clear? Now in a very quick, I'll take it TEM mode so that I can complete the circular waveguide. So TEM is here. So TEM only exists for here, only exists for coaxial cable, coaxial transmission line, you can say, or two-wire line. Two-wire line, you have seen the Yagi-Uda antenna, which is used for maybe conventional antenna, you can say, which we previously used for, or log periodic antenna, which was used for TV transmission in black and white. Maybe previously we were used this type of TV tower. Okay. So and that is having a two-wire parallel line. So two wire, one wire is there here and one wire is this side. So two wire, that is called two-wire parallel line. Okay. So two open wire line or two-wire parallel line. And coaxial transmission line that can be used for nowadays for the parabolic dish antenna. Okay, which we are using at DTH, direct to home connection. So in those coaxial cable and two-wire parallel two open wire line or two-wire parallel line. So in that we use TEM mode. Okay, so the transmission takes place in TEM mode. So in that EZ as well as SZ both will be zero. So transverse electric as well as transverse magnetic. So transverse will be electric and magnetic. So that means our propagation will not be carried out by EZ and SZ. So that will not be, transmission will be in this way, EZ and SZ. Okay, so EZ and SZ will not be responsible to carry out the energy. So okay, so electric field and magnetic field will not be there in the Z direction. So EZ and SZ both will be zero for the transverse electric and transverse magnetic mode. Okay, or transmission line mode, you can say, or you can TEM mode is also called as a transmission line mode. Okay. So in that we have TEZ and SZ that is equal to zero, and this mode cannot exist in hollow waveguide. see the rectangular waveguide which we have taken, that was the hollow structure. Okay, but circular can be a concentric. You can take optical fiber also. So optical fiber is also a waveguide, but that is an optical waveguide, which we are talking as this one as a circular waveguide for this one RF waveguide. So this is not the we are studying right now is a RF waveguide. Okay, so that's why yesterday you have asked that optical fiber is a waveguide or not. So I told you that no, optical fiber is not waveguide. So not waveguide in terms of RF only. That is, although it is a optical waveguide, we can say optical waveguide. So we have different types of waveguide. That is a RF waveguide, optical waveguide, acoustic waveguide. So different types of waveguide. But here in our analysis, our study, we are only talking about the RF transmission. So we are just focusing on RF transmission. There, the concept is different. So this is not the concept which we are studying right now. So Ez which is equal to 0 and Hz which is equal to 0. So this type of mode which is exists for hollow waveguide. Okay. Sorry, this mode which is not exist in a hollow waveguide. So this is only existing in the you can say concentric type waveguides. Who is this? Please mute yourself. Okay. So see, so you can do the analysis. I'll not go into the analysis of this one. You can go through the analysis also. So Maxwell equation, you can say curl equation, curl E and curl H, and you can find it out. You will get to know that you will find out these two equation in a cylindrical coordinate, and the sixth equation you will get from three equation from this one, three equation from this one. You can find out these six equation, but taking into consideration that Ez and Sz both should be equal to 0. So you will get this type of equation. So Ez and Sz both will become 0, and you will get this equation. And by taking del upon del R, which is equal to minus j beta g, and Ez and Hz, which is equal to 0, that is replaced here. And here we have taken del upon del R, which is equated with the j beta g. Okay. So this can be replaced, and you will be able to find out the six wave equation. That is the four equation will be in terms of not in terms of Ez as it. The four equation will be Er, E phi, Hr, H phi, and the two equation that will be 0. So now you can take it out the propagation constant beta g. So already we have beta g square is equal to omega root under mu omega epsilon omega square mu epsilon minus kc square. So you can find out beta g, and that can be taken as a you can take a kc, that is cutoff wave number, that should become 0 because there will be no cutoff. So there will be no cutoff because there is no wave which is propagating in z direction. So you can take it out. This can be written as omega root under mu epsilon. So beta g is nothing but omega root under mu epsilon, and which is the phase constant of the wave in the lossless transmission line with the dielectric. Okay, so now you can have this beta g, and you can that kc is equal to 0. Okay, so you can also find out Vp for the phase velocity for TEM mode. So phase velocity that omega by beta g, and beta g you know that is called omega root under mu epsilon. So that can be written 1 by root under mu epsilon, that is called phase velocity. And that is the velocity of light in unbounded dielectric. You know this can be written as unbound dielectric if you take. So Vp can be written as C only. So, and if you talk about the wave impedance, so wave impedance for the transverse electromagnetic wave, so that is comes out to be a square root of mu by epsilon. That's called intrinsic wave impedance. And if you have the free space, or you can say the free space which is given here, or maybe because see you have you are talking about the intrinsic wave impedance, na? So you have the concentric structure, the concentric structure electric which is present inside this waveguide. So if you have a coaxial cable, the inside that one wire is there, an outer jacket, one jacket is there outside. So or you if you take parallel wire. So in that also we have one type of material which can be used in between these two you can say these two side. Okay, so the dielectric, some dielectric will be there. So you cannot directly take mu naught and epsilon naught directly. You can take mu is eta is equal to 120 pi. So that can be 120 pi, that can be 120 pi. So that can be written as 120 pi or mu naught by epsilon naught. Okay, or that can be written as eta naught square root of mu naught by, sorry, mu r by epsilon r. So mu r by epsilon r, because mu naught by epsilon naught can be written as eta naught. So otherwise you can substitute this one also. Now, if you take the summary now, if you take the summary of this one, TEM mode, so you will get to know that for the lossless medium, if I talk about the lossless medium, there is no loss at all. So for the lossless medium cutoff frequency, that should be equal to 0. So FC should be equal to 0. So there should not be any cutoff frequency. Okay, and we will get to know the transmission line of the two transmission line is a two conductor system. So there will be two conductor. Okay, so there will be two conductor, the outer jacket one conductor and the inner core will be one conductor. And similarly for the two parallel wire, two in parallel wire, the one conductor this one and one conductor this one. So two conductor system is a transmission line here. Okay, and that will be responsible for TEM mode. Okay, so that is carried out, the wave is carried out by TEM mode. Now the wave impedance is the impedance in the unbounded dielectric. So whatever the wave impedance we had in unbound dielectric, that will be here also. The propagation constant is also the constant in the unbounded dielectric, and the phase velocity is the velocity of light in an unbounded dielectric. So all which we have studied for TE and TM mode, okay, T and TM mode, and that was for the unbounded dielectric. That will be here for the mean, you can say the wave impedance and the propagation constant, the phase velocity, which you can find out. Okay, so I hope you have the next class. Yeah, time is up, I think, huh? So we'll see this slide in the next class. You have the next class, or can I continue for 10 minutes also, or 5 to 10 minutes? 5 minutes is enough. Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Do you have 5 minutes? I'll continue 5 minutes and I'll stop here. Okay, this is the last slide.
Okay.
Yeah, so okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So yeah, see, this is the power transmission in circular waveguide. We have, see, although this is not in our syllabus, but we have studied for rectangular waveguide, that was there in the syllabus. So we had studied for rectangular waveguide. Similarly, we can see for the circular waveguide, that is also similar. Okay, whatever we have studied for the rectangular waveguide, that is same, you can say, which is used, but the coordinate system which is changed. There it was x, y, z coordinate system. Here it is a rho phi and z. Okay, or r phi and z, you can say. So power transmission in circular waveguide or coaxial line, you can say separately it is written coaxial line. In coaxial line, if I'll ask you in coaxial line, which mode is existing, so you will say, sir, TEM mode will exist in the circular, in the coaxial line. Or in the, if I'll ask you in your DTH connection or direct to home connection, or you can say the coaxial lines which is used, which mode is existing, so TEM mode will exist. Okay, okay, so you can also go for TEM dominant mode also, but we have not studied the dominant mode. So see, we have here the cutoff frequency which is equal to 0, so we don't have the dominant mode. Okay, so because the cutoff frequency which is equal to 0 here. Okay, so now, if you talk about the power transmission in circular waveguide, so transmitted power, which we have studied there in rectangular waveguide, that was there as a power transmitted, but that was 1 by 2 ZC, and that is A, x equal to 0 to y equal to 0 to B, and x equal to 0 to A, and that was given as Ex square plus Ey magnitude square, and that was written as dx dy, huh? That was written as dx dy, or you can take a surface integral of this one, and that was a ds. Okay, similarly, you can see the power transmission is written as 1 by 2ZZ, and this one equation is for TE, and this one equation for, okay, sorry, this one equation which is for transverse electric mode, and this one equation for transverse magnetic mode, okay, which is given here. So you can have this, and see, ZC will be different for transverse electric and transverse magnetic. Okay, so this is the transverse power transmission of this one. So that is written as E phi square, E phi square, R dr d phi. Okay, and this is the HR H5. Okay, 1 minute, it is written wrong. One should be ER, one should be ER, and one should be E5. So ER square, E5 square, RDR D5, and RDR D5 will be there. Okay, so this is the power transmission that is written in T and TM mode. Now ZC you can write ER by H5 and minus E5 by HR wave impedance. You know already, you should remember ZG should be equal to E by H, and depends on the coordinate system. You can apply X, Y, and Z. You move from X to Y, so that will be X EX upon HY. And if you talk Y to X, you will get minus EY upon EX. Okay. So minus EY upon HX. Already or E should be written in the numerator, and A should be the radius of the circular waveguide. Okay. So you can have the power transmission, you can find out anytime. Now, you know, this power transmission, and you can find T and P mode. So you have T and P mode, you can find out power transmission for T and P mode. So square root of 1 minus FC by FK whole square by 2 eta, and that is written ER E5 square DR D5. So you can substitute ZG. So ZG for TE mode, TE NP mode, you can say TE NP mode. ZG can be written as ZG can be written as eta divided by ZC can be written as eta divided by 1 minus FC by FK whole square. If you talk about TMNP mode, so ZC will be eta root under 1 minus FC by FK whole square. So that's how you can use here. And for the T mode and for the TM mode, which is written here, ZG will be changed. And this is in terms of electric field, this is in terms of magnetic field. This is in terms of electric field, this is in terms of magnetic field, H field. Okay. Sorry, this is in terms of electric field also. Okay, sorry, here it was, this is in terms of electric field, and this is in terms of magnetic field, not T and not TM. This is in terms of electric, and this is in terms of magnetic field. Only in terms of electric, only in terms of magnetic. And if you change this T and TM, na ZG value accordingly, it will be changed. So your ZZ is changed here. Okay, so your ZG value is changed, and you can use. And if you talk about TEM mode, power transmission in TEM mode, or average power transmission in TEM mode, so 1 by 2 eta, 1 by 2 eta is square root of 2 pi, and ERE5 that will be there. So your 2 eta, why eta we have written? Because we have 1 by 2 ZZ, 1 by 2 ZZ that is there, and the integration of whatever the integration that is there, that will be used. So PP transmission, you know this formula. So in terms of ZG, instead of ZG, if you have TNP or TMN, TM mode, so you can use with replace to ZG, you can use eta. Okay, where eta is equal to square root of mu by epsilon. So that's what it is written as, only eta. So if I'll ask you a power transmission of T and TM mode, so you should just change this ZG with the eta. Okay. So till now we have discussed the unit 1 topic, which is rectangular waveguide. Okay, the field component, all the field component, that is EX, EY, EZ, HX, HY, SZ, and TE mode, TM mode, solution of transverse electric, so solution of rectangular waveguide, or so solution of wave equation in rectangular coordinate. Okay, then we've discussed the dominant mode. Okay, then we have also discussed the field distribution. So how the field will be distributed, how mode can be found out. Okay, then we have went through the power. Okay, and the circular waveguide, in the circular waveguide we have only the T and TM mode. So we have also discussed T and TM mode, and we also discussed the TM mode, how the TM mode which is existing. Okay, and we also went through the wave equation in circular coordinate system. Okay, now we have the next which is there for microwave cavity. In the next class we will discuss about the microwave cavities. Okay, and then we will go for the microstrip transmission line, coupled transmission line, strip transmission line, coupled strip transmission line, coplanar transmission line. So all these transmission line we will studies in the next to next class, after discussing microwave cavities. Okay, so in the next class microwave cavity will be completed, and then we will try to discuss this transmission line. Wave velocity also we have discussed in this waveguide also already. Okay, so that was the wave velocity VG we have taken. Okay, VG, VP, which we have discussed in the waveguide. Okay, so that's it for the today's class. Okay, I hope if you have any doubt, please let me know. Okay, if you have any doubt, please let me know. Otherwise, I will stop here.
सर जो सर्कुलर वेवगाइड लिया गया सर,
Yes.
तो सर्कुलर सर्कुलर जो वर्ड यूज किया गया है सर,